I sit in front of you blind and unable to see my kids or watch them grow up because of the fact that I was defending her honor. She was having sexual relations with somebody, and I asked the person about it, and some substance ended up being thrown into my face, and my corneas got burnt out.
My goodness. Ms. Sharpnack, did that happen?
She's the judge who gives rules on the law and life. She's intense with common sense. She's Judge Lynn Toller on Divorce Court, where real couples deal with real life. When Latoya and Chris got married, they had envisioned spending the rest of their lives together until disaster struck and Chris went blind. Now their loving relationship has deteriorated into a tale of infidelity, deceit, and distrust.
We all at the grocery store. He gives girls the phone numbers because he wants them to feel sorry for him.
She went out drinking with her friend. I said, that's fine. I know when she left, I was sober that night, that she put on panties. And so she left and she came back without any.
Can Judge Lynn turn tragedy into triumph and save this marriage? Or is this the last time the couple will be together? Today on Divorce Court.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Chris Sharpnack and Latoya Sharpnack. Mr. and Mrs. Sharpnack, you two have been married for 5 years, although you have been together for 7 years. You don't have any children together, but do have some from previous relationships. We also have in the courtroom today Anika Shepard. Hello to you. You are Mrs. Sharpnack's cousin, and you do have something you would like to say, and we will give you an opportunity to do so. You look like you're ready to go on and popping. Before we have some matters that we need to resolve with respect to some finances, and I will get to that momentarily. But before we do, I'm going to start with Mr. Sharpnack. Why don't you tell me something about your life, your marriage, and how we've ended up in divorce court here today?
We're in divorce court today, Your Honor, because my wife is very unappreciative. I sit in front of you blind and unable to see my kids or watch them grow up because of the fact that I was defending her honor. There were some rumors going around that she was having sexual relations with somebody. I asked them about it, and well, I asked the person about it, and you know, some substance ended up being thrown into my face, and because of the result of the substance, my corneas got burnt out.
Jeez, my goodness. Ms. Sharpnack, did that happen?
Not the way he telling it. Me and him was arguing because the way he came in drunk. Him and the dude got into it because the dude said he didn't like the way he was disrespecting me. So they got to argue, and that's when happened. When all that happened. Now, Ms. Shepard, you seem to have some information on that. Well, why don't you come forward and you tell me?
Well, hold on, hold on.
Well, no.
This is real important.
I don't hold on. I don't hold on.
This is real important.
I'm gonna get back to you too. Hang on to it. Hold it tight in your hand. I'll be there. Ms. Shepard, what do you have to say about that incident?
That incident is he came home drunk, very drunk, disrespectful.
Were you there?
Yes, I was there. He came home drunk, and he got out of hand. So the young man asked him, like, you know, chill out. You know, chill. It's not cool for you to disrespect her like that. And
that's how the altercation started.
Yes.
Mr. Sharpnack, your response to that is what? You can stay up there, Ms. Shepard. I'm gonna talk to you some more.
My response to that is, when you come home to her, you have to come home drunk. So that's not an excuse for her to use that against me, because my wife has got this problem where she will nag you to death for the time that you get into the door. So I always get drunk before I came back from work. That's all that she does.
So you came home from work
I get
every
drunk
day
before I come home because she nags me to death when I get in the door. So I came home like I would from work any other day, except for the only difference was this day is that the altercation happened with this gentleman, and when the substance had hit my face, she refused to even get up and go in the ambulance with me or ride to the hospital.
Did you refuse to ride to the hospital, Ms. Sharpnack?
Yes, I did. Because the simple fact is we had just got into it, and we was arguing back and forth.
And he was drunk.
He was drunk, and I didn't want to go to the hospital with him.
Well, now you admit to being drunk a lot. You admit to being drunk every day when you come home.
Every day since I met her.
Are you a happy?
Every day since I met her.
Are you a happy drunk? Are you a cranky drunk? Are you an abusive drunk?
I'm always a happy drunk until I come home. So, I mean, until I go home, I'm a happy drunk. I mean, that's what it is.
Mr. Sharpnack, I understand Your primary concern is that she's unsupportive, and I understand there was an incident surrounding Valentine's Day that you found particularly disconcerting. Why don't you tell me about that?
I'm not a romantic person at all, Your Honor, but I tried to do something for her. You know, she was sleeping in bed, so I woke up before her. I ended up walking to the local store. I got her, you know, a little teddy bear, a little candy bar, just put on the pillow, just let her know it's Valentine's Day and I'm thinking of you, and I got plans for us later. She comes storming through the house, slams the stuff on the table. You're cheap, you know what? You're not gonna get me anything but this. I can't believe you.
He ain't even buy a teddy bear. He bought a candy bar. It's a Kit Kat bar. And I looked at him like,
it was king size, Your Honor. It was king size. It was king size. It was king size.
Miss Shepherd, do you live there?
No, but I live
What
here.
you doing over there all the time?
I'm over there because she's always
Because she
crying.
knows it. She's over there because she knows it.
Because
That's why she's there.
No, my cousin is always crying because the things that he do. Like one time, we was at all the family was over. She cooked. You know what he did, Your Honor? He put in a porno.
A porno movie?
Yes, while everybody was at the house and thought it was funny.
Did you put a porno movie
No, I
on
just know
the
how to
thing
get
while
all the
everybody
relatives out of
was
my
there?
house. Therefore, I put
So
on
you
the
were
porno
trying to
movie.
run people out?
Exactly. I wanted mine to eat, I wanted my house, so I put on the porno, I got them all to leave. And that's exactly what I did.
Okay. You also told me one more thing about being unsupportive, which is something about a glass of water. What
Yes,
happened
when I first
there?
had lost my sight, she would get me, you know, I'd ask her to give me a glass of water, a 30-minute glory me speech about what would you do if I didn't get you that glass of water? Oh, Lord, you should thank me, you know what I'm saying? Without me, you wouldn't be alive.
Blinded as a crutch.
It's always a glory me speech with her, no matter what she does.
Do you remind him of how grateful he needs to be every time you do something for him?
Always, anything he wanted, I would do. I was always at his beck and call. I did everything he wanted. Even when that happened to him, I made sure I was up, giving him his medicine, putting his eye drops in. I never complained.
Even when it happened, that's why she never rode in the ambulance. But she was there for me all the time.
But you was drunk.
And you were still there being nosy.
And I was mad.
So, I mean,
That's why I didn't ride with you.
Another thing, her cousin never leaves the house. She's over there more than I think I live there.
She's over there a lot. I didn't
She's
think
over
that
there a lot. She's over there more than I think I live there.
I have to be when he's throwing food, Your Honor.
When divorce court continues, is Latoya cheating on Chris?
I go outside, I open the door, I look to the left, and sitting in the back of this van that's sitting there is my wife in the back seat with the dark tinted windows with one of the fellas.
Divorce isn't easy. Call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com or become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt.
Divorce Court is back with the case of Chris Sharpneck, who wants to divorce his wife after 5 years of marriage because he finds her unsupportive. But is she a cheater too?
Ms. Sharpneck, do you care to explain how you misplaced those panties? Mrs. Sharpneck, you say that your husband uses his blindness as a crutch.
Okay. We all at a grocery store. He give girls the phone numbers because he wants them to feel sorry for him with his blind.
Oh, yeah, because we was hiding behind the groceries. I said, look, Toya, look. Here he go.
Once again, guess who was there? 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 Picking up the pork chop. Guess who was right there? Picking up the pork chop because she never go nowhere. That's what I'm talking about, John.
Yes,
She
sir.
never leaves.
Let her finish the story. Go ahead.
We standing there. I'm like, look, Toya, here you go. Can you hand me this mess? Oh, you sexy. I can't see you, but I can hear your voice. And he's like, but at the end of the whole conversation, they exchanging numbers.
You macking at the grocery store?
Yes, anywhere. He can't go nowhere without getting a number. Using his blindness.
Mr. Sharpneck, where you macking at the
I was
grocery
not
store?
macking at the grocery store, Your Honor. That was impossible. The stuff they accused me of is ridiculous. I did not mac at the grocery store.
You say that she's
I
a
said.
cheater. Do you believe that she's cheating on you?
Yes, I believe that she stepped out of our marriage first. So I cheated on her because she stepped out of the marriage
You
first.
got proof. What made you believe that she stepped out on your marriage?
Well, Your Honor, there was this one occasion where we watched a movie and then we fell asleep. And it happened to be around, like, I think 3:30 in the morning. And I woke up, happened to notice she wasn't in the bed with me no more. So I went in the living room to see if she was about to be watching TV or something was wrong. So I'm looking around the house, she's nowhere to be found. So, you know, naturally, this thing, I go outside and look around and see if something happens and somebody left somewhere. I go outside, I open the door, I look to the left, and sitting in the back of this van that's sitting there is my wife in the back seat with the dark tinted windows with one of the fellas. So, you know, I knocked on the window, I'm like, at first I couldn't believe it. I turned around, went back in the house, and said, yeah, right. And then I turned around, came back, I was like, no, that is her. So I knocked on the window, I said, you need to come. I said, you need to come in the house. So she comes in the house, she's like, I was just talking to him, nothing happened. So the next day, my friends came over, and they asked me, you know, last night, you know, that she was out here having sex in the back of the van.
What friend was that?
Now, Miss Sharpneck, did you get out of the bed with your husband and into the back of a car with another man?
First of all, we were staying with a roommate. The roommate asked me to go to the store with her. We went to the store. We sit in the van. It was a couple of dudes in there. But if you ask him, he was sitting on one side of the van, I was sitting on the other side. We wasn't even communicating. I was sitting there to be with my roommate because she was trying to talk to the guy that had in the front seat with her.
So you were kind of like the wingman. You were holding down the situation while she was trying to rap to this other brother.
Exactly.
I got it.
Yeah, how do you end up going to the store at 3:30 in the morning? She just said my roommate asked me to go to the store 3:30 in the morning, but then you end up in the car with a bunch of guys. I mean, how does that happen? You end up going to the store and you end up with a bunch of guys. That don't even make sense. You get what I'm saying?
You got a point there, Mrs. Sharpneck. I mean, it is an unusual set of circumstances.
All right.
Okay, like I said, we went to the store. When we got back, they was coming from next door because they live next door.
But is it 3:30 in the morning?
It wasn't that late. I say about 11.
Was it 2?
About 11, 11:30, something like that. Because it wasn't that late.
It was about 11 minutes past 3. That's what it was. About 11 minutes past 3, I'm telling you. She stayed out there until about 3:30.
When divorce court continues, what excuse will Chris offer for tricking Latoya?
Toya was gone. She called me and was like, well, I gotta get back to the house because Chris said he done got shot and stabbed. So she rushed into the house. He sitting on the car and said, you want to see my stab wound?
Ain't nothing wrong with him.
He just wanted you home.
He love making up stories.
If you would like your case heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and follow us on Twitter @DivorceCourt. Divorce Court returns with the case of Latoya Sharpneck, whose husband wants to leave her because he suspects she is cheating. But can Chris survive without her?
He was her job, clothing him, trying to satisfy him by feeding him, and he want to throw the food on the floor.
I had to give him a bath because he was too lazy to give his own self a bath.
Yes.
Mr. Sharpneck, you say, even though you admit to drinking quite a bit yourself, you say she drinks too and becomes a different person when she does.
Oh yes. So there's two different Toyas. There's the sober married Toya, and then there's the drunk I'm single Toya. Right. The one time, Your Honor, for a reason for you, the one time she went out drinking with her friend. I said that's fine. I know when she left, I was sober that night, that she put on panties. And so she left and she came back without any. And she said, well, we stopped at a guy's house and we went to a different club, but you know, nothing happened and she was so drunk. And I'm just sitting there listening to her story like, this don't make any sense.
He lying.
So she wakes up in the morning, first thing she does, I'm watching her, she wakes up in the morning, she grabs her head like this, oh, I got a hangover. I'm laughing at my brother, of course you do, you saw how much you drunk last night. Then she says, where's my panties? I thought you didn't wear none. See, look. And busted her right there as soon as she said it. She's like, I had on panties last night. I know what I said. I wasn't that drunk. And that's what, that all leads to stories always are coming back surrounding her about her cheating.
Okay. Ms. Sharpneck, do you care to explain how you misplaced those panties?
I still had on my panties.
What?
I still had on my underwear.
You did?
I don't know what he talking about.
And so, I had reason to be
Chris
concerned.
sitting over there making up all those stories. What? You want to tell a real story about the time you lied and said that you got shot and stabbed?
No, you tell the real story about how you like it.
You tell me,
that's why she watched me so much,
Shepard, you tell me that story.
Toya was gone. She called me like, oh, I got to get to...
got into it.
Yeah, tell me, like, she called me, was like, well, I got to get back to the house because Chris said he got shot and stabbed. So she rushed into the house. He sitting on the car and said, you want to see my stab wounds?
Ain't nothing wrong with him.
He just wanted you home, but come back home.
He loved making up stories.
Did you call and tell him that you got shot and stabbed just to get her back?
Well, she got to get away from the man she's cheating with sometimes. I needed her home right then. And, I was dinner time. I needed her home. Well, yeah, I did make up that story. That one I did do. I wanted her home, and it worked.
Okay.
So,
Your Honor, it's the case.
Mr. Sharpneck, what's going on at your house, but I enjoy you. If I had a party, I'd invite you over. Because you
got a lot of
good
stories
stories.
When divorce court continues, will Latoya have to pay up for talking up a storm?
Bill was $23.
Bill was
and the-
$23 because there was no long distance plan on the bill, and she was calling all down south and everywhere else and ran the bill up to $400.
Divorce court returns with the case of Chris and Latoya Sharpnack, whose 5-year marriage deteriorated after disaster struck and Chris became blind.
You tell me why you seeking $400 from Ms. Sharpnack.
Well, because I had got 2 cell phones, one for me and her. At this point, I knew she didn't have a job, but she was honestly really, really like looking hard in the paper for one. And I said, well, she's like, we didn't have a house phone at the time. And she said, well, you know, you're gone at the car wash all the time, and I need a number so I can start giving these people when they call me. You're not here, so I mean, it could be an interview where they tell me to come in right away, and you're not even here to give me the message. So I said, okay, you're right. You're gonna help me pay for the cell phone since I'm the only one in the job. I'll pay for it now, you know, and then you can just help me, you know, back up on some of the bill when you get your money or you get a job. So ever since I got her the phone, all she did was text message her friends. She'd never get. I'm like, what happened to the job you're supposed to be looking for? I'm gonna look for one tomorrow. You know, the paper today wasn't no good, and it was, you know, it was the main paper. I'm like, what do you mean? The paper today wasn't no good. You know, I'm texting somebody right now. Talk to me later. Talk to me later.
Ms. Sharpnack, did you get a telephone from him under the guise of trying to get a job and just used it to text people?
I used the phone to talk to my mother because at the time I was living in Ohio. My mother was living down south.
Right.
So I constantly kept in touch with her.
Right.
And with my sisters.
Right.
Now with the $400, I don't know what he talked about because the bill was $23 and the phone was $50.
Bill was $23.
Bill was
and the
$23 because there was no long distance plan on the bill,
Phone was
and she was
$50.
calling all down
T-Mobile
south and
phone.
everywhere else, and ran the bill up to $400. The other kid was like $800, but I
Yeah, they
paid.
never
Did you
went
ever
to
get a
400.
job? How come you don't have a job? That's what I want to know.
Trying to stick with
Ms.
him.
Shepherd, what you about to have a stroke back there? What do you want?
He was her job, constantly, every day, all
Trying
day
to
long.
stick with him.
Clothing him, trying to satisfy him by feeding him, and he want to throw the food on the floor. He don't want to wear this. He don't want to. What is this? I mean, you blind.
When
I mean,
he
what
get
you
drunk
know?
and want to take a bath, I had to give him a bath because he was too lazy to give his own self a bath.
Yes, he was the job.
Are you so much of a job that she can't go out and get one that pays?
No. I wanted her to get a job, but like as you can see now, when one wife is gone, I had to put up with the other naked wife that was still in the house for some reason. You know, so I had to put up with the other one. Now I'm pleased with one, and now I got to put up with another one. So it's like there's 2 of them, and it's not just one, and I'm getting double teamed no matter what I do.
And shoot, he ain't started talking about getting a job until the end where he couldn't get the bills.
Well, what about
You know,
the girl?
you know, the thing with the phone, you were in it together, you were both trying to do something. I don't know how much the phone cost. I don't know how much the bill is. I know better than to ask for anybody got a receipt. It was just foolish. Nobody's got a receipt. Nobody's got a bill. Nobody's got a clue. You guys need to get a job, and I don't care what he says or what he wants. You go out and you make some money, and you make money and you bring it home.
Oh, yeah.
And when you go to work, you bring the money home, you tell her to go home, and then you may be able to work something out. I think this marriage isn't going to work out. I think you live in a disassembled community. I don't know exactly where you live, but I think people are hanging about a bit too much with not quite enough to do. And when you hang about with not enough to do, you end up doing the wrong thing. There will be no recovery in this matter. It is so ordered.
Thank you, Honor.
All rise. Parties may leave the courtroom.
Chris says he talks more with Latoya since the show, and the hostility that they felt toward each other before divorce court has become more of a friendship. Chris is still with his girlfriend, and though he and Latoya still intend to divorce, they are glad they will remain cordial. Chris says that without Judge Lynn's advice, that never would have been possible.